And at number 10, Pete Davidson and Kanye West. So we all assumed that these two must hate each other, but we got confirmation of this when Kanye shared private screenshots between him and Pete on Instagram. After Kanye had attacked both Kim and Pete online for weeks now, Pete finally decided to stand up for himself and Kim and tried to talk to Kanye man to man about the situation. Leaked text showed Pete telling Kanye, quote, "Yo, it's Skeet. Can you please take a second and calm down? It's 8 a.m. It don't gotta be like this. Kim is literally the best mother I've ever met. What she does for those kids is amazing and you're so effing lucky that she's your kid's mom. I've decided I'm not gonna let you treat us this way anymore and I'm done being quiet." Kanye then responded, "Oh, so you're using profanity now? Where are you right now?" Pete then pulled something nobody would have expected and responded by sharing a selfie of him in bed, then writing, "In bed with your wife." It's clear that this feud is most likely only going to get messier until Kanye and Kim are officially divorced. And at number 9, Scott Disick and Kourtney Kardashian. Scott Disick was savagely exposed in 2021 for being a jealous ex. It was pretty clear to fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that Scott was never over Kourtney since their split, but it was made clear when private DMs leaked that showed that Scott was trashing Kourtney's new relationship with Travis Barker. After paparazzi photos showed Kourtney and Travis showing tons of PDL while on a trip to Italy, Scott DM'd Eunice Benjima, another one of Kourtney's ex-boyfriends who isn't even close with him or the family, and wrote, quote, "Yo, is this chick okay? Bro, like what is this? In the middle of Italy?" Clearly trying to initiate a conversation where they both trash Kourtney. But to everyone's surprise, even though it seems that Kourtney and Eunice ended things badly, Eunice did not trash Kourtney and he responded, quote, "Doesn't matter to me as long as she's happy. P.S. I ain't your bro." Eunice shared this whole conversation publicly, so it made things even more awkward between Scott and Kourtney. Shortly after this, Scott's girlfriend at the time, Amelia Hamlin, dumped him, and now Travis and Kourtney are madly in love and engaged. And at number 8, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick starred in the hit movie A Simple Favor together, and it's long been rumored that during the filming of that movie, the women hated each other. The feud was so bad that the studio executives had to get involved and mediate the tension between the women. In a TikTok, the page Celebrity Memoir Book Club claimed that when filming wrapped on the movie, Lively and Kendrick were not speaking, adding, quote, "They were basically enemies and their press tours had to be booked separately." The page even shared a private DM they received showing a studio exec at Lionsgate confirming basically everything the previous post said. This DM read, quote, "They hated each other. The studio even had to have a talk with them about making it look like they liked each other on press tours because it was starting to get obvious. Anna in particular was really competitive with Blake and was constantly asking to make sure she got more promotion than Blake and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in the Simple Favor poster to be as big or bigger than Blake's." So from this comment, it seems that Anna Kendrick might have been the reason for this feud, but either way it was nasty. And at number 7, Ariana Grande and Victoria Justice. These ladies have allegedly been feuding since they were teens, filming Nickelodeon's Victorious. The most notable moment that alluded to a feud happened during an interview with the 4 female leads of Victorious, which featured Grande, Justice, Liz Gillies, and Daniela Monáe. During the Popstar magazine interview video, the cast members played a game, but they said things about one another that fans might not know. During this interview, Gillies gushed about Grande's singing voice, telling the publication, quote, "She sings everything, and it's a good thing because she has a beautiful voice, but it's awesome. She sings absolutely everything, she never stops." When other members of the cast agreed, Justice looked annoyed and interrupted the conversation by saying, quote, "I think we all sing a lot," while appearing to roll her eyes, which is obviously downplaying the compliment that was supposed to be for Ariana. Years later, Ariana threw some more shade by claiming Victorious ended because one girl did not want to do it anymore. She instead wanted a solo tour, and since Justice went on a solo tour after the show ended, it was clearly about her. However, both women claim there is no beef, although many don't believe it. And at number 6, Abhishek Sheikh Chatterjee and Nick Lachey. This is a strange one, but the Love is Blind cast member Sheikh got in a feud with the host of the show, Nick Lachey. Sheikh got in trouble for focusing too much on the appearance of his partner and claiming that he was not attracted to her. Things got heated at the reunion when Sheikh said attraction was about, quote, nature and saying that they're animals. Lachey fired back at the veterinarian saying, quote, "No, you treat animals. We're human beings. There's a big difference." Sheikh then slammed Nick in a post on Instagram, writing, quote, "You put a doctor on the show, of course you're going to see some critical thinking. Speaking of which, Nick Lachey, you're a massive for your comment dragging vets. You do realize that becoming a veterinarian is considerably more difficult than becoming a human doctor, right?" He also slammed the host for not being impartial like a host should be.
Number 5, Chris Pine versus the panel. The 42-year-old actor appeared to zone out at several key moments during the premiere, leading many to wonder if he was meditating or just bored. Chris seemed to be looking very ambivalent about appearing at the festival, mostly in photos next to Harry. Images, videos, and memes of Chris Pine disassociating in in press junket interviews and panels and on the red carpet has really captured the internet's attention. Number 4. Shia LaBeouf vs Olivia Wilde. The actor was initially cast as Jack in Don't Worry Darling, but fans were shocked when news broke in September of 2020 that he was being replaced by Harry Styles. But the story that Olivia began circulating was pretty slanderous against Shia. Olivia confirmed that she fired him due to a no a-hole policy that she has while directing. She told Variety, "Shia's process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require a combative energy, and I don't personally believe that is conducive to the best performances." When Shia had enough of the headlines, he decided to publicly expose Olivia, emailing both the director and Variety magazine saying, "You and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find the right time to rehearse." And in the most explosive revenge move ever, he then leaked a video of her practically begging him to stay in the film. The video went viral and the result was utter chaos. Number 3. Florence Pugh vs Harry Styles. As we know, the Hollywood it girl appears in Olivia Wilde's film alongside Harry, but right from the jump it was clear that Florence wasn't a fan of the blossoming romance between Harry and Olivia. Not just because she was their director and there was a bit of a power imbalance there, but also because the two had been reportedly seeing each other for a month before Jason Sudeikis found out. During the premiere of Don't Worry Darling at the Venice Film Festival, fans noticed that the actress avoided both Harry and Olivia like the plague. She posed for a series of group shots with the entire cast, but did not get any photos alone with Harry, even though they were both central characters and love interests in the film. Florence was also said to have avoided eye contact with both of them throughout the premiere, and seemed to leave the event as soon as possible. So with everything that went down, it's highly unlikely that they'll be working together ever again. Number 2. Harry Styles vs Jason Sudeikis. In this love triangle, Harry seems to be the other man. It doesn't necessarily mean that he had anything to do with the breakdown of Olivia and Jason's relationship though, but nevertheless, rumors started swirling that their 7-year engagement had ended due to her meeting Harry. Olivia went out on the record defending their relationship and claiming that the accusations of cheating are false. The complete crazy idea that I left Jason for Harry is completely inaccurate. Our relationship was over long before I met Harry. Like any relationship that ends, it doesn't end overnight. Unfortunately, Jason and I had a very bumpy road, and we officially dissolved the relationship towards the beginning of the pandemic. So clearly the actress and director doesn't believe that there was any crossover, but there's certainly enough reason for Jason to disapprove of their relationship considering how it all panned out. And coming in at number 1, Shia LaBeouf vs Florence Pugh. The two of them were rumored to be feuding ever since the cast of the movie was announced back in 2020. It was thought that Florence was uncomfortable at the prospect of working with Shia because of the recent controversies surrounding his relationship with FKA Twigs. But recently, leaked texts between the two actors showed that they might not have had any bad blood after all. In one of the texts, you can see that Florence reached out to Shia saying, "Just heard word about the shoot, and I don't know how I feel about it. Can we vent tomorrow?" She then expressed her concern over the rumors that were circulating on set that she was uncomfortable around him. When Shia confronted her about it, she wrote, "That's sad. Where did you get me being scared of you from? Don't be silly. I'm sorry that you feel that way." Finally, on the day that he quit the film, he texted Florence saying that there were bigger issues than just problems with the script. So it seems like they were cool with each other after all.
Kicking off this countdown, number 10 is Justin Bieber and Orlando Bloom. I remember seeing articles about their physical altercation and just thinking how on earth it even happened in the first place. If you happen to miss these crazy headlines, they surfaced back in 2014 after the two gentlemen got into a tiff that led to punches being thrown. Video footage surfaced showing Orlando throwing a punch at Bieber's face during a night out in Ibiza, but Bieber's security team quickly pulled them apart before the argument spilled over into the streets. So what were they fighting about? A girl? Obviously. Orlando was married to Miranda Kerr, and for years there were rumors that Justin went on a date with her following a Victoria's Secret fashion show in 2012. So after their altercation, Justin threw some gasoline on the fire and posted a picture of Miranda in a bikini on his Instagram. That takes balls. Coming in next, number 9 is Cher and Donald Trump. This one isn't totally surprising because they are both people who will just say it how it is and not hold back. Back in 2012, they went after each other online and ended with Trump calling Cher a total loser.
It all started after Cher took her political views to social media and shared her opinion on Republican Mitt Romney. From there, Trump got involved and sent out this tweet. He said, "Cher attacked Mitt Romney. She's an average talent who is out of touch with reality. Like Rosie O'Donnell, a total loser. Cher should stop with the bad plastic surgery and nasty statements about good people running for office." What does plastic surgery have anything to do with it, or Rosie O'Donnell? I'm confused. The feud continued after Cher started sending out her own tweets in response, and one of them claiming she will never go to Macy's again because they sold Donald Trump's line. And even years down the road, they still don't see eye to eye with one another. Cher started slamming him in 2019 for some of his comments and decisions as president. Cruising into number 8 is Chrissy Teigen and Allison Roman. It was just a few months ago in May 2020 when the New York Times food columnist made headlines for her controversial comments about Chrissy Teigen, who has her own growing cookbook and cookware line. In her comment, she implied that Chrissy was a sellout. People were quick to defend Chrissy and the work that she has put into her business. Chrissy responded to her remarks in a tweet and said, "This is a huge bummer and hit me hard. I have made her recipes for years now, bought the cookbooks, supported her on socials, and praised her during interviews." She ended her comments by tweeting at Allison, suggesting that they unfollow each other now. The feud didn't last long though. Allison did issue a public apology to Chrissy, saying that her comments were selfish and careless. In spot number 7 is Jonah Hill and Don Lemon. The CNN anchor Don Lemon had just finished election coverage and spent 6 hours in an airport when he ran into actor Jonah Hill at a hotel. When he approached the actor to tell him that he was a fan, apparently his handshake and response was not up to his standards. Don sent out a tweet saying, "Said hi to Jonah Hill in hotel. Think he thought I was Bellman. Didn't know his name until Bellman told me. A lesson to always be kind." Jonah responded over Twitter and said, "I said hi, what do you want me to do, move in with you? I was in a hurry, didn't realize you were a 12-year-old girl. Peace." The two of them went back and forth in tweets just slamming one another, all over a handshake and like a 2-minute exchange, probably less. Moving on to number 6 is Jane Fonda and Megyn Kelly. Jane went on Megyn's NBC talk show and was not pleased when Megyn brought up her plastic surgery and asked her a question about it. Jane has always been open with people about having work done, so Megyn didn't think her question would be an issue. Megyn spoke with Jane and said, "You admit you've had work done, which I thought is to your credit, but you look amazing. Why did you say, I read that you said you felt you were not proud to admit that you've had work done. Why not?" Jane's attitude completely changed and she deferred the focus onto something else, suggesting to Megyn that they talk about her new movie, Our Souls at Night, rather than talking about plastic surgery. She later explained that she thought it was the wrong time and place for the question to be asked and said that Megyn was not a good interviewer. Megyn gave her side of the situation and said her new movie was about aging, so she felt that it was appropriate and also a good opportunity for her to empower other women. But there was no convincing either of them. They were not able to see eye to eye on this.
Halfway number 5, Taylor Swift. We all know about the epic feud between Taylor and Kanye that has only gotten worse with time. It all started on September 13th of 2009 at the VMAs. Taylor went up to accept her award when Kanye ran up on stage, stole the mic, and said, quote, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." This horrible decision led to the decade-long feud. The next day, Kanye apologized, but then later rescinded this apology, claiming he'd been forced into this apology. After a few years of no drama, the pair seemed to be friendly again. But that all changed when Kanye dropped his Life of Pablo. In the song Famous, Kanye referenced Taylor, saying they might still sleep together and calling her the B-word. Amid public outcry, Kanye's wife, Kim Kardashian, posted videos of Taylor and Kanye discussing the song, with the latter sounding like she approved it. After a year of disappearance in August of 2017, Taylor responded with the track Look What You Made Me Do. The pair's fans still fight over who was wrong in this situation, but it's clear this feud will never be resolved. And at number 4, Amber Rose. The public feud that Kanye had with his ex, Amber Rose, has to be the messiest because a lot of family secrets were exposed. It all started in 2008 when the couple started seeing each other. The pair were together for 2 years before splitting in 2010. Tensions really started brewing when she dated Wiz Khalifa right after, and they ended up getting married. After they split, Tyga started dating Kylie Jenner, which means nothing until you learn that China and Amber Rose are best friends. So Amber was involved in the feud with the Kar Jenner family. Then Kanye went on The Breakfast Club and said about Amber Rose, quote, It's very hard for a woman to be with a man who's dated Amber, and apparently he had to take 30 showers before he got with Kim. Kanye also discussed Tyga's relationship with Kylie and said he thought Tyga got in early and that Tyga was smart. Amber responded by tweeting the craziest thing I've ever seen, quote, "Aw, Kanye West, are you mad I'm not playing around in your anymore? Hashtag fingers in the." So very messy stuff. Later, Amber admitted that she regretted those tweets. And at number 3, Pete Davidson. Since Kim has started publicly dating Pete Davidson following her divorce from Kanye, Kanye's latest target is Pete, because it's clear that Kanye wants Kim back and Pete is now standing in the way. In a track released last week by West and The Game, Ye rapped, quote, "God saved me from that crash just so I can beat Pete Davidson's," referring to his 2002 car crash. Kanye also trashed Kim during an interview, saying, quote, "How you gonna bring me to SNL then kiss the dude you're dating right in front of me?" But apparently Pete is not worried over the threats and thinks they are hilarious. A source said, quote, "Pete thinks it's totally hilarious. Not just that, he thinks the whole tabloid drama with him, West, and Kardashian is hilarious. He loves it." Apparently the newfound feud with Kanye has even brought Pete and Kim closer together. Pete also just confirmed that Kim is his girlfriend. And at number 2, 50 Cent. Yet another rapper Kanye has feuded with was 50 Cent. It started back in 2007 when Kanye changed the release date of his upcoming album to be the exact same as 50 Cent's, Very Shady. Originally it was supposed to drop on September 18th, but Kanye moved it up 1 week to be on the 11th. Graduation sold close to 1 million units and easily beat out 50 Cent, who only sold 691,000 copies. This was a huge moment in Kanye's career, and many say this moment he officially became the king of rap. At that time, 50 Cent said he would never release a solo album again if Graduation beat out Curtis, but when it did, he did not keep his promise, and he's released multiple albums since. Then in 2019, 50 Cent stirred up more trouble by making fun of Kanye's clothing line, saying, quote, "What in the spare some change type is this?" And finally at number 1, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake and Kanye got into a strange feud after Kanye accused Timberlake of crying after he didn't win a Grammy. While he was speaking at the 2015 MTV VMAs, Kanye spoke of a moment that they had at the Grammys. He said, quote, "I sat at the Grammys and saw Justin Timberlake and CeeLo Green lose. And bro, Justin, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but I saw that man in tears. And I was thinking he deserved to win Album of the Year. In the small box that we are of entertainers of the evening, how could you explain that?" Some fans supported Kanye's comments, because he did compliment Timberlake by saying that he should have won Album of the Year, although many felt he put Timberlake on blast. Timberlake then gave a shady response to this speech, writing on Twitter, quote, "Kanye is so cute, y'all." But after a lot of backlash from Kanye's fans, Timberlake later tweeted in support of Kanye.
Starting us off at number 10 is Mason Disick and Jeffree Star. First of all, isn't Mason Disick like 9 years old? How the hell did he end up in a feud with the biggest YouTube beauty guru in the world? I'm confused. Here's what happened. For starters, Mason Disick is Kourtney Kardashian's oldest son, in case you did not know who he is. He recently started a fire in March 2020 when he went online and called Jeffree Star spoiled AF. But Jeffree fired back at him even though he is in fact, guys, 10 years old. Jeffree responded by a tweet and said, "I had $500 in my bank account 6 years ago. Maybe he's confused with his own privilege versus mine being self-made. Hopefully his father can educate him soon." Mason's dad is actually Scott Disick, who goes by the name Lord Disick, so the likelihood of that happening is probably pretty slim. Coming next, number 9 is Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj. We didn't really know about the feud until the very awkward public exchange they had at the 2015 MTV Music Video Awards. Miley was hosting the award show, but at one point Nicki was on stage saying her part and finished by saying, "And now back to the bitch that had a lot to say about me in the press. Miley, what's good?" You could tell that Miley was completely thrown off by the comment, and the spotlight awkwardly went to Miley and just faded out from Nicki. It was super uncomfortable. Turns out that articles were saying Miley had said some rude things about Nicki in the press earlier that week. But Miley ended up saying on stage, to kind of clear her name, that news outlets tend to twist the words of other celebrities and that she actually has no issue with Nicki. Sliding into number 8 is Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson. The majority of us probably thought they would be like brothers after filming together in Fast 5, but by the end of the movie series they strongly disliked each other. While they were filming the 8th movie of the franchise, Dwayne posted on social media saying he is dealing with a candy ass on set. Fans were confused at first because we didn't really expect there to be so much tension to a point where you're writing about it on social media. There were rumors going around at that time about these two fighting, so people just kind of quickly pieced that together. Dwayne later spoke about it and said he has put it behind him, and apparently their tension was so bad at some points that they actually requested stand-ins to film some of their scenes. Rolling to number 7, we have Chelsea Handler and Angelina Jolie. To be honest, I didn't even know that they had beef with each other, so that is how unexpected this one is for me personally. The tiff came after news broke of Angelina and Brad Pitt's divorce. Apparently Chelsea was not okay with their decision, and she did not hesitate to express her thoughts on it. She spoke about it and called Angelina a effing lunatic. It was later revealed that she had a personal issue with her because she once fooled around with her friend's man, referring to Brad Pitt's ex Jennifer Aniston, who is friends with Chelsea. But Chelsea later felt bad for her comment and said, "I'm upset that I was so upset with Angelina Jolie. I realize she is probably just trying to do her best too." Isn't that sweet? Yeah, you had really no say in their divorce, but okay. Up next, number 6 is Lady Gaga and Kelly Osbourne. Such a random pair of people to have an issue with each other. Like, do they even know each other well enough to have a problem? The battle between them started in 2009 when Kelly called Gaga a butterface on her show Fashion Police. Gaga responded with an open letter telling her that her show criticizes and rates people's beauty, and that is wrong. The feud was ongoing for years until 2013 when Gaga tried to make a peace offering. The singer made an appearance in October on the X Factor UK, where she gave Sharon Osbourne, who was a judge, a cake to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Kelly was turning 29 and it just so happened to fall on that same day. Sharon and Gaga even took a smiling picture together with the cake, but Kelly did not accept it and wrote on Twitter, "Not to be ungrateful, but why would you send me a birthday cake via my mother in a country half the world away?" She then posted a picture of the cake to her Instagram with the hashtags "Eat my poo" and hashtag hypocrisy. But Gaga ended the feud and responded with kindness, God bless her soul, and she tweeted, "I didn't know it was your birthday until this afternoon, meant as a peace offering, happy birthday." God bless Gaga, are you kidding me? I would just take that cake home and eat it myself.
Number 5. Drake and Kanye West. When the friendship and working relationship between Kanye and Drake abruptly dissolved following a project the two were working on, it became nearly impossible for fans to keep up on their latest feuds. Back in 2018, things took a sharp turn for the duo as the two began to proceed to hurl insults back and forth in a form of diss tracks. On one of these tracks, it even revealed Drake had a son. Drake felt like he was betrayed by Kanye when he went behind his back regarding his child, because Drake confided in Kanye just before that he was having trouble with his son's mother. The fire reignited between the stars after Drake started following Kim on social media after the reality star split from Kanye. Kanye wrote to his Instagram about the matter to say, "Imagine having a problem with somebody and they follow your wife on Instagram." However, Drake seemingly went after Kanye on his album Certified Lover Boy in September of 2021. The two have since seemed to have put their past behind them.
Number 4, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. The actors are both well known as comedic heavyweights who helped launch SNL into mainstream success. But in 1978, when Chase returned as a guest host, the two of them got into a physical altercation and began insulting one another. Murray first confronted Chase, telling him that everyone hated him. They then got into a screaming match which started a physical fight between the two men. SNL star Jane Curtin witnessed the fist fight and said, "It was sad and painful and awful. It was that same kind of tension you would get in a family. It was uncomfortable. I think they both knew the one thing that they could say to one another that would really hurt the most." In a 2012 interview, Murray said that he and Chase were friends again. He told Empire, "It was really a Hollywood fight, a don't touch my face kind of fight. It was an opedial thing, a rupture, because we all felt mad that he had left us, and somehow I was the anointed avenging angel who had to speak for everyone. But Chevy and I are friends now. It's all fine."
Number 3. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. So the tension between the rappers Cardi B and Nicki Minaj has been ongoing since 2017, with multiple disses, tweets, and general misunderstandings and miscommunications, aided by media narratives pitting the two women against each other. The feud eventually escalated into a physical altercation in 2018 at Harper Bazaar, New York Fashion Week event. Photos and videos of the incident show Cardi B being escorted out of the party barefoot with a sizable bump on her forehead, most likely caused
caused by Nicki Minaj's security team who intervened when Cardi B threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj. The apparent incident that the two collided over was because Nicki decided to insult Cardi's parenting skills. After the clash, Cardi took to Instagram and said she let a lot slide, and because of the result of her interaction with Nicki, she had been questioning her capabilities as a mother. Nicki later came forward on her own radio show and threw shade at Cardi by saying, "Someone get this woman some help." Cardi then went to her Instagram to debunk Nicki's story.
Number 2, Jennifer Lopez and Mariah Carey. These two have been at each other's throats since the early 2000s. In fact, most people remember the iconic line that Mariah told a reporter when she said, "I don't know her." Although it sounds hilarious, Mariah has maintained her negative opinion of J-Lo all these years. For instance, she was once asked what she thought about Beyonce and J-Lo, and she responded by saying that they don't even belong in the same category. She said, "Well, it's hard. You can't really put those two people in the same category because one is in a really different generation. They just started singing later. But when you talk about Beyonce, I think she's wonderful. She's great. She's a talented person." But it seemed like she forgot to compliment J-Lo as well. A few years later, Mariah spoke to Andy Cohen and doubled down on her comments, saying, "I don't know her. What am I supposed to say?" So it looks like it'll take a miracle for these two iconic performers to ever be on good terms.
Number 1, we have Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. Now, the pair have been frenemies for quite some time now. With the two of them often being pitted against each other in the tabloids, their feuds can get pretty messy when on full display for the world to see. The two were known to be best friends until 2006 when Lindsay was captured in a series of photos with Paris's ex-boyfriend. Paris was then captured in a video with her friend Brandon Davis, and you could hear the two making fun of Lindsay's career and body. Lindsay would then speak to Elle and say she would never fight with a woman over a guy because it's bad karma. By November of that year, the two seemed to have put their differences aside as they were captured in a picture on a girls' night out with Britney Spears. However, in 2018, Paris would shade Lindsay by saying the photo the paparazzi captured of the three girls in 2006 was just supposed to be a girls' night with her and Britney, and Lindsay chased after them to get in the car. Even today, the stars continue to bring up old beef with each other, and it's gotten to the point where enough is enough and the two just need to put their past in the past.
Number 10, Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh. There was reportedly much tension on the set between the two women, as Florence allegedly wasn't too happy seeing her director hooking up with Harry, considering the fact that at the time she was still married to Jason Sudeikis. But the main reason for the feud between the two actresses is because Florence reportedly did not feel safe or comfortable playing Shia's love interest in the movie, as the actor has recently been plagued with disturbing allegations, like accusations of domestic violence. And while Olivia made it seem like she was understanding and going to accommodate her request, it turns out that she was only pretending to be on Florence's side, as Shia leaked a video of her making it seem like Florence was the one with the issues. She told him, "The fact that you're leaving might be a bit of a wake-up call to Miss Flo. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into it at this point, and if you guys can make peace, what do you think?" So it's easy to see why Florence would be upset at that. If you're loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 9, Harry Styles and Chris Pine. The incident is now being referred to as Spitgate since it first started generating headlines from the premiere of the film. So what happened exactly? Well, footage from the festival shows Harry approaching Chris to take a seat next to him during the screening of the movie. Then Harry makes a subtle motion with his mouth which seems to be spitting in the direction of Chris Pine, who then looks down at his lap, pauses his applause, and shakes his head and starts smiling. His stunned reaction does seem to be genuine though, as if something really did fall on his lap. But some people argue that nothing could really be seen coming out of his mouth. But Harry recently addressed the whole incident and even made a joke about it during his concert at Madison Square Gardens, when he said, "Wonderful to be back in New York. I just popped by very quickly to Venice to spit on Chris Pine. But fraught not, we're back and our job tonight is to entertain you, and I promise we are going to do our absolute very best." So make of that what you will. Number 8, Jason Sudeikis vs Olivia Wilde. The pair announced their separation in November of 2020, but as with most Hollywood breakups, their split became very messy very quickly, especially considering that Olivia allegedly cheated on Jason with Harry Styles, and the two of them had been having an affair for around a month before the breakup. What made it worse is that Jason reportedly didn't realize that it was happening while they were filming Don't Worry Darling, and even brought their children to visit the set. But the feud all came to a head last month when Olivia was presenting on stage at CinemaCon. She was faced with a bitter surprise when she was served custody papers halfway through her talk, and later told Variety, "I hated that this nastiness distracted from the work of so many different people, and that the studio I was up there representing to try and sabotage was really vicious. But you know, sadly, it's not something that was entirely surprising to me. I mean, there's a reason I left that relationship." Number 7. Battle of the Stylists. Florence had all eyes on her during the premiere as she wore a sparkling black Valentino dress with glittery accents while promoting the film. But things really hit the fan when her stylist, Rebecca Corbin-Murray, decided to take sides in the beef between her client and Olivia. She shared multiple pictures of Florence to Instagram with the caption "Miss Flo," which is a direct reference to the condescending nickname that Olivia has for Florence. But then Olivia's very own stylist, Carla Welch, posted a response to that photo with the caption "There's always more to the story." So it looks like Olivia and Florence are both using a stylist to throw shade at each other, probably because it would be too messy for them to do it themselves. The internet is not on Olivia's side at all, even though she has tried to shut down stories of the feud and has gone on the record saying that it's nothing but invented clickbait. Meanwhile, Florence has never denied it or even commented on the scandal. Number 6. Harry Styles vs Olivia Wilde. Despite the fact that they have been together for well over a year, Olivia and Harry barely acknowledged each other during the premiere. However, the 38-year-old was seen trying to make eye contact with her boyfriend as they were posing on the red carpet, and then again before the movie started, to no avail. Yes, they did seem like they were trying to keep it professional, and Harry clearly did his best to avoid her while being as charming as ever and greeting guests. But there could have been another reason for their extreme distance that night. The couple have been getting a lot of hate ever since they got together and were spotted holding hands in January of 2021. It's pretty clear that most of it's coming from Harry's fans directly, who seem to call out Olivia for moving on too quickly after breaking up with Jason. But most of the hate is due to the fact that she's 10 years older than Harry, so whichever way you look at it, people are not happy with their relationship.
Number 5. Cardi B vs Nicki Minaj. This feud has just been full of juicy moments that we love to watch. A few years ago at a Fashion Week event in New York City, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj appeared at separate times being photographed in stunning gowns on the streets of NYC. However, when the two crossed paths inside the building, things escalated quickly. According to witnesses, Nicki purposely stepped on Cardi's dress before spouting some nasty words about Cardi's baby daughter. Hey, first rule of trashing someone who's a parent, leave the kids out of it. Cardi blew up naturally. She stumbled as she tried to run across the room, once again being held back by bodyguards. But this time, she got through. After a moment of calm, Cardi lunged at Nicki, but is quickly blocked by her own security team, who must have made contact with Cardi because photos taken of her leaving the event show a nasty bump forming on her forehead. That wasn't the end though, as Cardi then began to remove her shoes and fling it at Nicki from across the room. She's like Hawkeye with a shoe, I swear. Nicki and her team kept the shoe as Exhibit A should they ever need to open a lawsuit for the incident. No charges were ever brought to light, but these two have been in a public feud ever since. Number 4. Isaiah Washington vs the Grey's Anatomy cast. Grey's Anatomy is a TV drama centered on the personal and professional lives of 5 surgical interns and their supervisors. The show garnered a massive fan base and was on air for over 420 episodes. For 62 of those episodes, a man named Isaiah Washington portrayed the character of Dr. Preston Burke. Following his departure from the series, Isaiah took to social media to call out his cast and crew of Grey's Anatomy for creating a hostile work environment. It was revealed that apparently Isaiah himself was responsible for the so-called hostility. He had started multiple feuds with fellow cast members, including a physical altercation with Patrick Dempsey on set, using homophobic slurs against T.R. Knight, and throwing shade at Katherine Heigl for throwing shade at him for using the slur. Needless to say, this is a very one-sided feud, as the Grey's producers just simply shut the door in his face and told him to take a hike. Number 3. Kanye West and Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson was the youngest cast member on SNL when he was hired at the age of 20. In 2021, Kim Kardashian hosted an episode of the show and starred in a sketch with Pete parodying A Whole New World from the Disney film Aladdin. The sketch was okay, but apparently sitting that close to each other all week really got them going. At the time, Kim was still involved with rapper Kanye West, who was actually attending the live show, but apparently stormed out of the room following her scene with Pete. Apparently Kanye had been present at rehearsals all week, and he remembers regularly seeing Pete and Kim smiling and laughing together while he was being ignored entirely. Kim and Kanye began their divorce process not long after that, and simultaneously Pete announced that him and Kim were official. Since then, Kanye has publicly bashed both his ex and Pete for their actions and has been in a pretty big feud with him. Was little Kanye mad? Oh well, sucks to suck. Number 2, Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman. Jerry the King Lawler was a professional wrestler between the 1970s and late 80s. Andy Kaufman was a comedian and a regular star of the legendary sitcom Taxi, yet somehow their paths seemed destined to cross. On an episode of The Late Show with David Letterman in 1982, Jerry and Andy were brought on to share the stage after a feud between the two had become public. Kaufman wanted to make his name more popular and did so by attempting to join the World Wrestling the entertainment company. He eventually wiggled his way into the ring, and producers felt Lawler and Kaufman would make nice on-screen enemies. Lawler was old school and Kaufman was a wacky comedian who did not belong between the ropes. A few months before the interview took place, the two fought in a one-on-one match, and Lawler pile-drived Kaufman into a mat twice, the second of which left Kaufman limp and in need of hospital. On Letterman, Kaufman was sporting a neck brace and appeared to be in enormous amounts of pain. The interview was meant to act as a reconciler for the pair, but instead devolved into shouting, slapping, and the threatening of a lawsuit. Their feud lasted for several years until Kaufman passed away in 1984. Number 1, Will Smith versus Chris Rock. Alright, let's just get this one out of the way. In 2022, Chris Rock was hosting the 94th annual Oscar ceremony when he decided to make a little joke about Jada Pinkett Smith and her hair. Rock expressed his excitement to see Jada in a fictional G.I. Jane movie, but immediately following the joke, which landed for everyone else in the audience, Rock stood in confusion as Will Smith made his way towards the stage. Will adjusted his jacket, he took a firm stance, and then he just clocked Chris right across the face. He winded up his hand first to conjure the ultimate force. Initially being seen as a planned joke between the two, Will then began shouting several times at Rock to keep his wife's name out of his flippin' mouth. Now Chris handled the situation very well. He kept his cool, he laughed it off, and brought out the next award presenters. He was professional and quick to get the night back on track, but unfortunately an hour later Will Smith won the Oscars for Best Actor in a Leading Role. He played Richard Williams, the father of tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams, and during his speech he gave a half-hearted apology for his actions before claiming the situation was due to his months of portraying the father on set, leaving him with an extreme paternal sense to protect his family. Unfortunately for Will, the slap was enough to get him banned from the Oscars indefinitely. Chris later took to Twitter to share his thoughts on the event, calling Will's actions unnecessary and aggressive. It would appear that getting smacked on live TV isn't something Rock can just forgive. So yeah, this is like the least surprising feud on the list.
In at number 10, Ray J. Kanye and Ray J have been in a long-running feud surrounding Ray J's former relationship with Kim Kardashian and their infamous adult tape. The feud reignited recently after Kanye claimed that he got a second copy of the tape from Ray J and saved Kim from that embarrassment. Kanye has also called out Ray J in a number of songs. In 2016, he rapped, quote, "I bet me and Ray J would be close friends if we didn't like the same woman. Yeah, he might have hit it first, only problem is I'm rich." Allegations were made by Ray J's former manager, Wack 100, on a podcast that there was a part 2 of their tape that Ray J still owned. Both Kim and Ray J shot down these rumors, but they were brought up once again by Kanye. Kanye told Hollywood Unlocked, quote, "I went and I got the laptop from Ray J myself that night. I met this man at the airport, then got on a red-eye flight, came back and delivered it to her at 8 a.m. in the morning." Ye went on to say that after he delivered the laptop to Kim, she cried when she saw the footage. However, it doesn't look like that's true, because Kim's team later clarified that there was no other unseen footage on the recently acquired tape, and Kanye was basically lying. Ray J also spoke out against Kanye, who unnecessarily brought up this frustrating topic once again. He wrote on Twitter, quote, "This needs to stop, I also have kids." And at number 9, Drake. This is easily Kanye's most notorious feud that came to a head once again in 2021, during the recent release of both of their albums. Back in 2009, these two were friends and often spoke of how much they respected one another's work. But sadly over time that started to change, and the pair started taking shady digs at one another, like when Drake started dating Amber Rose shortly after her and Kanye split. But things looked good once again in 2015, when they collaborated on a Big Sean song and even hinted at a collaboration album. but things got tense once again in 2018 when Pusha T released his diss track Infrared, which Kanye produced. The song accused Drake of having a ghostwriter. Then shortly after, Pusha dropped the story of Adidon, which exposed that Drake had a love child. The pair got into another feud when Drake seemingly referenced Kim Kardashian on one of his songs and did not deny the hookup rumors. Things were turned up once again in 2021 after Drake dissed Kanye on a song. In response, Kanye doxed Drake and shared the exact location of Drake's Toronto home. This resulted in both of their albums getting a ton of press for their releases. So honestly, maybe it was all for show. In at number 8, Travis Scott. This feud is even more awkward considering the family connection between Travis and Kanye. In 2018, Kanye dragged Travis into his long-standing feud with Drake. Travis had posted a selfie on Instagram wearing a Nike sweatshirt, which Kanye felt was a betrayal because Kanye had a business relationship with Adidas, who is a huge competitor of Nike's. The feud continued when Drake and Travis collaborated on Travis' hit song, Sicko Mode. And there are lyrics in the song about preferring checks over stripes, aka Nike's signature logo, to Adidas's. And this of course upset Kanye. Kanye later tweeted, quote, "How are you gonna be on Travis's song coming at me? Trav should have never allowed that." He later added, "Meeting with Trav tonight, bet it never be checks over stripes line again on a Travis song." Kylie later confirmed the feud had been settled when she tweeted, quote, "Everyone is good, moved on, living life. For anyone who wasn't aware, Travis has a deal with Nike and still does. Point is, it's all been talked out, it's only positive energy." And at number 7, Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig is best known as the lovable cartoon for kids, but she decided to throw some major shade Kanye's way after he released his highly anticipated album, Donda. Pitchfork initially rated Peppa Pig's sophomore album, Peppa's Adventures, the album, a 6.5 in 2021, while the site gave Kanye West only a 6 for his album Donda. So it's clear from these numbers, Peppa is the better artist, right? She thought so too and decided to inform Kanye about her album rating on Twitter. Peppa's team wrote, quote, "Peppa didn't need to host listening parties in Mercedes-Benz Stadium to get that .5, showing pictures comparing both of their Pitchfork scores. The internet was set ablaze by this tweet, and everyone could not believe that Peppa would call out Kanye like that. Shockingly, Kanye did not respond to this callout, even though he responds to almost everything said about him. Honestly, I'm not sure how he would even respond to those cold hard facts. And at number 6, Jay-Z. This feud is really sad because beforehand Kanye and Jay-Z were incredibly close and would even consider themselves to be family. But after Kanye had one too many outbursts, Jay felt it was best for him to no longer have Kanye in his life. Some tension between the two developed when Jay-Z did not attend Kanye's wedding to Kim Kardashian. Then during his Pablo tour, Kanye lashed out at Jay-Z on stage. He said, quote, "Don't call me after the robbery and say, how are you feeling? You wanna know how I'm feeling? Come by the house. Bring the kids by the house like we're brothers, let's sit down." Jay-Z clapped back on album 444 where he rapped, quote, "I know people backstab you, I feel bad too, but this F everybody attitude ain't natural. But you ain't the same, this ain't kumbaya, but you got hurt because you did kumbaya. You gave him 20 million without blinking. He gave you 20 minutes on stage, F was he thinking." Exposing that he gave Kanye $20 million when he was broke.
Halfway through, at number 5 is Jon Hamm and Kim Kardashian. The two of them seem to be on good terms while doing a live shoot together of 30 Rock. Even when he called her an effing idiot, they were able to laugh it off and she understood that it was just a joke. But she was not so forgiving when he criticized her later on in April's LUK issue. During the 2012 interview, he said, "Whether it's Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton or whoever, stupidity is certainly celebrated." Kim handled it a lot better than most people thought she would and responded by saying everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But she did say that his opinion was careless because not everyone takes the same path in their career, and then she listed off the things that she does to prove that she couldn't have her success if she was, in fact, stupid. Rolling into number 4 is Kendall Jenner and Francis Cobain. It was rock vs reality TV back in 2013 when the two girls went after each other. It all came out of nowhere when Kendall sent out a tweet saying, "Just wish things could be easier sometimes, man." She wasn't looking to start a fight with anyone, but Francis created one by responding to her tweet in an aggressive manner. In response to Kendall's tweet, she said, "Oh shh, there are kids on earth abandoned and homeless who forcibly drink contaminated water because clean water isn't accessible. Oh yeah, not to mention cancer, famine, poverty, drought, disease, natural disasters. I'd like to thank my Grams for encouraging me not to be a self-absorbed idiot." Kendall ended up responding to her, saying that she knows how blessed and privileged she is, but that she is still human with feelings too. Kendall wrote, "I know there are greater problems in the world. I pray for those people every night and give back as much as I can. So who are you to judge me?" What do you guys think? Whose side are you on? I feel like it was just very unnecessary. Just like let her tweet that. In the third spot is Tyson Beckford and Kim Kardashian. Another one of Kim's feud has made it on this list, and that is never a good thing. In 2018, Tyson started body shaming Kim and her appearance on his Instagram, saying her body isn't real and that doctors messed up on her right hip. Kim clapped back at him and responded with, I quote, "Sis, we all know why you don't care for it." People immediately accused Kim of being homophobic, claiming that her comment was derogatory towards Tyson, who is openly gay. But Kim explained that her comment had nothing to do with sexuality and that she has great relationships with people in the LGBTQ community. It caused a storm online with different opinions, some people angry with the fact that he got away with body shaming and being the one to start the whole feud in the first place. Coming in next, number 2 is Gwyneth Paltrow and Martha Stewart. You probably wouldn't expect them to have issues with each other, but Martha felt some type of way about Gwyneth's lifestyle brand Goop. 5 years after it launched, Martha was asked about her thoughts on Gwyneth's entry into the lifestyle business. She said that Gwyneth is trying to be her and then called her a movie star, not a hard-working entrepreneur like her. She said, if Gwyneth were confident in her acting, she wouldn't be trying to be Martha Stewart. However, Gwyneth did seem confident when she responded to her, saying that she is psyched to see them as competition with one another. Fans were largely taking Martha's side though in this whole feud, saying that they actively follow Martha for cooking and lifestyle advice over Gwyneth because they do see her as a movie star. In our number 1 spot is Charlie Sheen and Rihanna. They haven't been on friendly terms since 2014 when they had a Twitter spat after he called her a B-word during an interview with Andy Cohen. Apparently, he and his then fiance ran into Rihanna at a restaurant and wanted to introduce his lady to Rihanna because she's a big fan. He claims that his request was denied by Rihanna, and then he went on Twitter to call her a princess and said that she thinks she's better than everyone else. Rihanna responded by changing her Twitter header to an image of her signing an autograph for a fan with Sheen's head superimposed. For years, he has slammed her name ever since this incident, but a few years later in 2017, he did publicly apologize. He randomly tweeted out, "Dear Rihanna, pardon my insane self-indulgence, let's have a drink someday on me." She did not respond to this tweet, so I don't think they ever went for drinks.
Number 10, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. For over 4 years, these men have clashed over just about everything, and they haven't exactly tried to keep their rivalry a secret. It started in 2016 when a SpaceX rocket explosion destroyed a $200 million Facebook satellite. Zuckerberg issued a statement saying he was deeply disappointed about the launch and called SpaceX a failure. 2 years later, Musk reignited the feud and tweeted, "Yeah, my fault for being an idiot. We did give them a free launch to make up for it, and I think they had some insurance." But when Facebook became embroiled in the Cambridge Analytica scandal, things got a whole lot worse. Musk publicly deleted all of his company's Facebook pages and said, "It's not a political statement, and I didn't do this because someone dared me to do it. I just don't like Facebook. Gives me the willies. Sorry." He also criticized Facebook's data sharing practices and shared several memes that implied the company was spying on its users. Oh, and they also got into a fight about the future of AI. So clearly they have never seen eye to eye.
At number 9, we have MGK and Eminem. No one can forget these two's epic diss tracks posted by the rapper MGK and Eminem. The feuds date all the way back to 2012 when MGK tweeted about Eminem's daughter Haley. And it wasn't exactly what a father of a teenage girl would want to read on the internet. Now after the two's followed over a song MGK was featured on for Tech Nine's 2018 No Reason, in the lyrics he threw some shade at Eminem by referring to his track Rap God. MGK would say, "To remind you all, you just rap and you're not a rap god." Eminem would later clap back with his own diss track called Not Alike, where he made fun of MGK featured on Tech Nine's song. In an interview later, Eminem would confirm that the two's conflict had way more to do with Haley, and it was more because the rapper said he was the greatest rapper alive since his favorite rapper banned him from Shade 45. When MGK released his diss track Rap Devil, Eminem came to destroy Kelly's rap career with his own diss track.
Number 8, Adam Levine and Lady Gaga. The Maroon 5 5 frontman has had several feuds with female artists over the years, but his feud with Lady Gaga really takes the cake. He first criticized her music in 2011 when he tweeted, "Lady Gaga took Vogue and Express Yourself and put them in a blender. The result? Born This Way." Then, only 2 years later, he slammed her creative choices when she dropped her Applause video from Art Pop, which referenced several major works of art throughout history. Adam wrote, "Ugh, recycling old art for a younger generation doesn't make you an artist, it makes you an art teacher. I unabashedly love writing and performing pop music for both myself and everyone around me. That's it. It doesn't need any extra sauce." To which Lady Gaga responded by tweeting, "Uh-oh guys, the art police is here." Adam then wrote, "By the way, I'm not an artist, I sing in a band and I make music with my friends." He also went on to criticize her grammar on Twitter.
Loving this video far? Please hit that like button, it would really help us out. At number 7 we have Vin Diesel and The Rock. You know the saying, don't turn your back on family? Well, the stars Vin Diesel and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that statement doesn't exist. The two actors made their first on-screen appearance with each other in 2011 while filming The Fast Five. The Rock joined the set as Luke Hobbs, an agent pursuing the Fast and Furious crew for their various crimes against every law enforcement agency across the world. Everything seemed fine when he returned for the 6th and 7th entry of the series. However, in 2016, Dwayne went to his Instagram to refer to unnamed members of the cast as cowardly, timid people. Rumors then started to circulate that he was insulting Vin Diesel. A few days after filming for The Fate of the Furious and it wrapped up, Johnson posted another Instagram thanking some of his castmates by name, but didn't mention Vin Diesel. While The Rock never identified his target, Vin Diesel would later come to confirm it was in fact him in an Instagram video. Later, the duo's co-star, Michelle Rodriguez, would come to confirm that there was tension between the men on set, but it was nothing more than any kind of disagreement any close friend could have.
Number 6, Olivia Wilde and Shia LaBeouf. Shia was initially cast as a lead in Olivia's movie Don't Worry Darling, which she was directing, but soon after production started, news broke out that she had fired him and replaced him with Harry Styles. Olivia then said that she fired him due to a no a-hole policy that she has while directing. She told Variety that his process was not conducive to the ethos that she demands in her productions. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require a combative energy. She said that she needed to protect the cast from Shia, but Shia was not happy with this side of the story and decided to publicly expose her for lying. He told Variety that he quit her film because he couldn't find time to rehearse with the cast, and in the most explosive revenge move ever, he then leaked a video of Olivia practically begging him to stay in the film, and made it clear that he was never fired in the first place. The video went viral and the result was utter chaos.
Halfway through the list is Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. All the Sex and the City girls seem to be like sisters from the outside looking in. But early in the TV series there were rumors going around that these two did not get along. In 2004, Kim admitted that money had something to do with it, revealing that Sarah received a higher salary, and when they did not agree with her financial demand, she quit the show. Down the road in 2017, Daily Mail reported that the third Sex and the City movie was cancelled because of Kim, stating that Warner Brothers refused to meet her demands and had to cancel production, despite the other girls being on board for another movie, and fans obviously very excited about it. Sarah has always said that Kim was a close friend to her, but there seems to be some weird disconnect because Kim told Piers Morgan that the other girls were always just colleagues to her. That's so awkward. We've made it to number 4 and we have Howard Stern and Lena Dunham. The whole thing seemed to be one-sided after Howard completely dissed her on his radio show back in 2013. He was talking about the actress and her HBO show Girls and said, "It's a little fat girl who kinda looks like Jonah Hill and she keeps taking her clothes off and it kinda feels like I don't want to see that." The whole comment was honestly like very unnecessary, not sure where it came from, but Lena was able to laugh it off later on, and she actually called into his show to talk about it after he apologized though. He did end up apologizing for that random comment, and they were able to kind of shake it off. Taking over the third spot is Chloe Grace Moretz and Kim Kardashian. Another random feud that happened on Twitter and lasted way longer than it needed to. It started after Kim posted a nude mirror selfie on her social media pages. The selfie was obviously a little censored, but Chloe did not approve of her post and made sure everyone knew about it. Chloe commented on her post and wrote, "I truly hope you realize how important setting goals are for young women, teaching them we have so much more to offer than our bodies." Kim quickly fired back, pointing out that Khloe posed nude for her Nylon magazine cover shoot. Side note, she was actually wearing a jacket over her body, but she is nude underneath, so yeah. Kim tweeted in response saying, "Let's all welcome Chloe Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo." Kim's family even got involved after that, and Khloe Kardashian started tweeting at her too, and honestly it was just Twitter chaos. Taking over number 2 spot is Neil Patrick Harris and James Woods. Neil posted a photo of an 8-year-old boy with his family at Pride, and James tweeted a response that was incredibly inappropriate and offensive. He tweeted, "This is sweet. Wait until this poor kid grows up, realizes what you've done, and stuffs both of you dismembered into a freezer bag in the garage." I mean, who in their right mind says something like that to someone? Like, to me, the only type of person to say something like that is someone who would dismember someone and stick them in the freezer. That is crazy. Neil responded by calling him utterly ignorant and classless and said that he should be ashamed of himself. Turns out Neil was actually very close with the young boy's family, which is why he took that photo with him. In the number 1 spot is Ariana Grande and Piers Morgan. The pop star picked a bone with him back in 2018 after he criticized Ellen DeGeneres, claiming that she drools over famous men's bodies and how if he did that towards women he would be called a pig. He also went after a Little Mix and said that they use nudity to sell their records, not their talent. Ariana Grande got involved by sticking up for Ellen even though the comments had nothing to do with her. She tweeted at him saying, "Ellen is an incredible and kind human being. I use my talent and my sexuality all the time because I choose to. Women can be sexual and talented, naked and dignified. It's our choice. And we will keep fighting till people understand. I say this with all due respect, but thank you. Next." The two of them battled it out for a bit in tweets, but later admitted that they had a civil conversation and worked it all out.
Number 10. Taylor Swift versus Kanye West. That's right, these two are in a feud, and apparently it's lasted for quite some time. In 2009, Kanye interrupted Swift during MTV's Music Video Awards as she was in the middle of an acceptance speech for Best Female Music Video. While there was no altercation that took place on camera, over the next few months, the feud had become public, with Swift bashing Kanye's rude behavior during time specifically set aside for her. Kanye later apologized, and things seemed to be fine until 2015 when the rapper released a song called Famous, in which he said the line, where I'm paraphrasing of course, "I feel like me and Taylor may still make love. Why? I made that be famous." Swift was very vocal about her dislike for the song and claimed that it was written to undermine her success. A few months later, Swift also put Kanye's wife Kim Kardashian on blast after the influencer had publicly approved of the song's lyrics. Joke's on them though, as they have just made enemies with a woman who fuels her soul with hatred. I wonder what she's gonna be cooking up for us right now. Number 9. Cardi B versus Aja Davies. In 2017, rapper Cardi B and model Aja Davies appeared on an episode of VH1's Love and Hip Hop talk show. Things became heated very quickly when the topic of Aja's ex-boyfriend Swift came up. According to Davies, she was convinced that Cardi B and Swift were intimate together while she was still dating Swift. Cardi responded to the accusation by throwing her stiletto at Aja's face. She then jumped up and began making her way towards the model, but was stopped by 2 large security guards. Good thing too, considering on the other side of the room, Aja had done the same thing and was also being held back. An all-out brawl almost took place, but the altercation resorted to the pair yelling at each other from across the room, with Cardi's main grievance being the judgment placed upon her by Davies for being an exotic dancer before her time as a music artist. While Davies claimed that wasn't the case, it was very clear from both their verbal and physical language that there was certainly some shade looming overhead. Number 8. Nicki Minaj versus Miley Cyrus. MTV. It's the channel that just continues to deliver us such juicy reality moments. MTV was, however, responsible for the inception of one of the greatest award shows of all time, the Video Music Awards. The ceremony celebrates the best and brightest of the music industry, but in 2015 things got a little extra juicy. Miley Cyrus, remembered fondly as Hannah Montana and remembered for riding a wrecking ball, was hosting the event that year. Rapper Nicki Minaj had just taken the stage after winning the Best Hip Hop Video Award, but quickly shifted the audience's attention from herself to the host, Miley. Minaj was calling Miley out for supposedly talking trash about her in a recent interview. She asked Miley what's good, and Miley responded. She kept her cool and explained that everyone in the industry knows that news outlets and interviewers can manipulate footage to make comments sound worse than they actually are. She then reminded the audience about her difficult to watch performance at the ceremony in 2008, and then threw an 80-foot picture up on the wall to emphasize her point. Minaj's mic was cut off, and Miley introduced the list of artists being nominated for Best Future Artist before leaving the stage. This wouldn't be the first time Nicki got into it with another celebrity though, and her feud with Miley has persisted ever since. Number 7. Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez. Selena and Hailey share a feud. Reminds us of two kids in high school that just can't get along, only this time it's not just over a boy. Selena Gomez dated Canadian pop star Justin Bieber for quite some time throughout the 2010s. The relationship was rocky, and they would often split and get back together over and over again. He had been friends with Hailey Baldwin for a few years, with the relationship apparently becoming romantic at one point. While initially this was the cause of the feud between these two, more recently there seems to be a more personal reason for their hatred. A TikTok user posted a side-by-side comparison video of Hailey and Selena to show just how much Hailey had been copying Miss Gomez. There were photos of them wearing similar outfits. They also compared the coincidence of Hailey starting a YouTube cooking series called What's in My Kitchen when Selena had just released an HBO Max cooking show called Selena Plus Chef. Gomez was quick to thank fans for acknowledging the strange copycat behavior and let the world know that she was well aware of the similarities that began to arise, and she was not having any of it. Number 6. Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter. Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett co-starred on the Disney Plus series High School Musical, the series. God, that's a terrible title. During their time on set, they developed a relationship that apparently did not end well, and it may have something to do with one Miss Sabrina Carpenter. The Bizarre Varks alum made headlines in January 2021 after releasing her debut single, Driver's License. The hit song resonated with Rodrigo's fans, including Taylor Swift, but it also caused some to think that it was about the rumored drama between her, Bassett, and Carpenter. Her lyrics were, "And you were probably with the blonde girl who always made me doubt. She's so much older than me. She's everything I'm insecure about." The main reason people think this is a dig at Carpenter is because initially the lyrics were the brunette girl, not blonde, apparently changing it following the news of Sabrina's relationship with Bassett. Sabrina and Olivia basically started a singing roast battle. Apparently they began releasing songs around the same time as each other, including topics of like liars, cheaters, jealousy, all that jazz. It looks like this feud will be fueling quite a few hit songs in the near future.
Halfway number 5, Chloe Grace Moretz and Khloe and Kim Kardashian. During Kim and Kanye's 2016 feud with Taylor Swift, Chloe Grace Moretz got involved and Khloe Kardashian took a nasty low blow. After Kim released a video on Snapchat of Kanye West discussing his famous song with Taylor, Chloe Grace Moretz tweeted to defend Swift from the accusation that she lied about not knowing about the song before it was released. Moretz said, quote, "Stop wasting your voice on something so petulant and unimportant. Everyone in this industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around to realize what's actually happening in the real world." Then Khloe Kardashian jumped in to defend her sister Kim, tweeting back, quote, "Is this the hole you're referring to? Chloe Grace Moretz." Then adding a picture that seemingly showed Moretz's bare. Moretz clapped back that the girl in the photo was not her, and tons of celebrities came to Moretz's defense against this nasty clapback. Kim also tweeted that nobody had any idea who Chloe Grace Moretz was. Yikes. And at number 4, Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus. Nicki Minaj had everyone on edge when she took the time during her 2015 VMA acceptance speech to call out host Miley Cyrus. The call out was because Miley made some negative comments about her in the press. While accepting the award for Best Hip Hop Video at the MTV VMAs, Nicki Minaj finished it off by saying, quote, "And now back to this bee that had a lot to say about me in the press the other day. Miley, what's good?" Miley actually handled it very well and quickly congratulated Nicki on the win and said the media twisted her words. Miley's original comments were relating to Nicki's feud with Taylor Swift. In that interview, Miley called out Nicki for not being very nice, which I guess she kind of proved at this award show. But can you imagine being called out live like that? Miley is my hero for settling it like a champ. And at number 3, Solange and Jay-Z. This 2014 elevator incident is one of the most legendary of all time because it shows never to mess with the Knowles family. After the Met Gala in 2014, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange stepped into an elevator, and when Solange thought nobody else was watching, she started to attack Jay-Z, hitting him with her hands and purse multiple times, while Beyonce just stood there and watched, making it clear that whatever she was doing was supported by his wife, Beyonce. After Beyonce admitted that Jay cheated on her album Lemonade, it's clear that this is when Solange found out about the cheating, and that's how she decided to take out her anger. Jay-Z opened up about the incident in 2017, saying he and Solange are totally fine now and he views her as his sister. So thankfully this incident did not cause long-term damage. In at number 2, Drake and Pusha T. This feud is so messy it started all the way back in 2011 and some could say it's still not over. It all started when Drake released the song Dreams Money Can Buy in 2011 with verses that many thought contained disses aimed at Pusha T. This started a flood of diss tracks between the two, with both rappers taking clear shots at the other. The two kept trading diss tracks for a few years until 2018 when Pusha T released the single Infrared, which allegedly accused Drake of not writing his own raps. Even though many on Drake's team have denied this, the rumor stuck and many people to this day still claim that Drake has ghostwriters. But it did not stop. The biggest hit to Drake's rep came from the next diss track, The Story of Adidon, which not only accused Drake of having a secret child, but the cover art also showed young Drake in. As of now, the feud has settled and the pair no longer make diss tracks about one another, but I'm sure there's still a lot of tension. And finally at number 1, Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. As a huge fan of Sex and the City, this feud hurts my heart and I really wish they could have made up so Samantha would have been in the reboot. Probably would have made it a lot better. Rumors of tension between the women didn't start until the show ended, and Parker shaded Cattrall by saying she was the reason the third Sex and the City movie was not made. Later on, rumors swirled that the movie was scrapped just days before filming due to Kim Cattrall's refusal to sign on unless Warner Brothers produced other projects that she had in development. Later on in an interview, Kim said that SJP, quote, really could have been nicer about everything, hinting at tension between them. But things were turned up a notch when Cattrall's brother passed away in 2018 and Parker shared her condolences on Instagram. Kim Cattrall did not like this seemingly fake response and clapped back, quote, you are not my family, you are not my friend. So I'm ready to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona. As of now, the feud is clearly not resolved and the tension is why Samantha is not in the HBO Max reboot, and just like that. Let me know below if you saw the reboot. Personally, like, I hated and loved it at the same time. Like, it was so bad, but I couldn't stop watching it. Let me know below.